Namaste. Hi there, it's me, Stacey Lee, and of course I'm here with Miss Foxy Brown. Welcome to yoga and thank you for joining me. Today's focus is all about respecting our hips. We'll be strengthening and mobilizing the muscles that support our hips, making sure the joints surrounding our hips are flexible and resilient. We'll even be moving our rib cage away from our hips to lead to a healthier body and healthier movement and more movement confidence. For this class, we'll be moving down to the floor in the second half of class, so you will need a yoga mat or you could practice on a carpet. I'd like you to have at least one yoga block. If you have two, please bring them into your space. If you don't have a yoga block, you can grab a thick cushion or bolster from your sofa or from your bed. You should also have a small hand towel in your space, one from your kitchen or your bathroom. And if you have a yoga strap or a belt from your pants or from your robe, those will be really helpful too. Once you've collected all of your yoga toys, come on back. You could place your toys on the ground and you can meet me in your open space. Let's start with our feet together. Inhale and reach up overhead with your thumbs back. Exhale, thumbs pointed up, all the way down. Inhale and exhale. Two more. Inhale. Exhale. Biggest inhale yet. Deepest exhale yet. Remember, breath is your life force. All right, separate your feet just a little bit. Your right hand on your hip, your left hand at your head. Bend over towards the right side of the room, bumping your hip over to the left. Come back to center. Now go the other way. One hand on your hip, one hand at your head. Bending your entire spine, bringing your neck along with you. Inhale to the center and exhale, let's bend again. This time push a little deeper into your left hip, bringing your weight to your left leg. Inhale to the center, and now switch sides. I'm adding just a gentle sway here to kind of allow me to move deeper into the posture. Inhale to the center, exhale, release your arms. Make sure your toes are pointed front and bend your knees for this next movement. Just sway and circle your hips in one direction. And if you're finding that you've got a tight spot, you could hang out there for a second and just kind of move through that little triggery spot and then continue on your way. And when you're ready, reverse your circles. Your knees are bent and you're just moving forward, side, back, and side. All right, stand tall, and now we'll do more side bending. Cross your left leg over your right leg, and then stretch over once again. So we're going a little bit deeper, not only stretching through the outer side of your hip, but through your whole side body. Inhale and open up wide to the center, and exhale, step over to the other side. Inhale, open up wide. Exhale, relax your arms again. Now lift your left heel and pivot through your foot and then come back to center. Now lift, pivot, and you'll feel that your entire leg is rotating. So the action is happening at your ankle, your mindful action, but your whole leg rotates, even your femur bone, your thigh bone, right up to the hip socket. Let's have a few more pivots, and pivot and hold to your right, and just lunge down and up a few times. One more time. Okay, come up towards me, pivot to the other side, so turn your hips. So we'll be practicing these pivots throughout class. All right, pivot back to me, and turn your toes out. Now this is the very first of many goddess poses that we'll be practicing in today's class, so let's make sure we get the foundation. Okay, when you come down to goddess pose, you want to always check to make sure your knee is tracking over your middle toe. Okay, so if you come down and notice that your knees are dropping inward just a little bit, then stand up and make sure you turn your feet in a bit so that they match your knees. Okay, and then the other thing that you'll do when you come down to goddess pose, and this should be a wide step, you'll draw your tailbone down. Hello, inner thighs. You'll feel your inner thighs fire up. You'll feel length in your back. So let's just practice sitting here with a long spine. And now stand up and let your back sway this time. I bet you feel a big difference, right? So in this sway back position, draw your tailbone down. Fire up your inner thighs. Hello, inner thighs. Because we know that those inner thighs really support our hips. So come back up. Okay, now you're facing me. So come down to goddess again. Knees track over toes. Tailbone draws down. Okay, now pivot through your left foot and turn your toes towards me. And then your right foot is pointed towards the side of the room. So now we've got our warrior feet. Okay, take a look down and understand what the warrior feet feel like and look like. Your front heel should intersect your back foot. And now press down into the pinky edge of your back foot, and you can lunge a little bit deeper and see how that feels as your hips open up. Bring your hands to your heart, elbows high, and twist towards the right side of the room, and then twist towards me. You might feel a little bit stiff as you move, as you rotate away from your hips, and that's very normal, and that's why you're here today, right? So each time you twist, you'll feel a little bit more freedom. This time, twist and hold, and stretch your arms overhead, and now bring your hands down. Pivot towards me and turn both feet. Squat into a nice low goddess, check your alignment. Draw your tailbone down and then stand up. Okay, come down again. Pivot this time through your right foot. And now turn your left foot towards the left side of the room. So now we have a left-facing warrior, okay? And we'll continue to go back and forth to a right warrior and a left warrior. Now you're familiar with the feet. Okay, so let's twist a few times. Remember, you're pressing into the back edge of your back foot, so the pinky edge of your back foot. You're keeping your front knee aligned over your front toe. Okay, this time you'll hold facing your left foot and stretch overhead, the warrior one. Bring your hands to your heart. Pivot your feet towards me and stand up. Now this time I'd like you to stretch overhead, 5-pointed star. Just feel a sense of accomplishment, feel a sense of confidence. That's what this posture does for us. All right, hands together, sit low into goddess. Check yourself. Warrior feet to the right. Open up, warrior two, thumbs up. Gaze over your front thumb. Inhale, exhale. Bring your hands behind your head. Elbow down and tip the other way. So tipping right and left. One more time, right and left. Find the warrior two once again. Bring your hands to your heart. Pivot towards me. Goddess, star. Goddess. Warrior feet left. Align yourself. Open up. The warrior two. Feel strong, confident, and focused just like a warrior is. Bring your hands behind your head. Let's bend left and then right, and then left, and then right. 2 more. Find your warrior 2. Hands to your heart. Turn, pivot your foot towards me. Goddess, star. Put a smile on your face. So when we practice star pose and we know that this leads to confidence, we want to put a big smile on our face. Find a sparkle behind your eyes. And if you're having trouble finding a sparkle, then draw up the sensation of looking forward to something, whatever that is. Maybe it's tomorrow's sunrise, right? Maybe it's the 4th of July. Maybe it's a family reunion. Maybe it's a dinner. Maybe it's a walk that you're taking with your dog later. It can be the smallest thing. Bring your hands down to your heart. Warrior feet to the right. Pivot and pivot. Okay, this time your left hand comes to your left thigh. Stretch your right arm up and bend back. This is the peaceful warrior. A deep breath in, a long exhale. Cartwheel your arms open to the warrior 2, and then we'll stretch over to extended side angle. So we're side bending once again, right? Moving our rib cage away from our hips. Let's come up to peaceful warrior. Extended side. Stretch your arms long 2 more times. Extended side. Find your warrior 2. Hands to heart, goddess pose. Find your alignment, open your hips. Hopefully your hips are feeling more open. And now 5-pointed star, smile, sparkle. Come back down. Warrior feet left. Open up wide, warrior 2. Peaceful warrior, back hand, back thigh. Stretch up, thumb points over your head. Feel the stretch from your hip all the way across your rib cage up to your fingertip. And now move through the warrior 2 to get to extended side. One hand on your thigh, stretch over. Peaceful warrior, extended side, peaceful, extended side, warrior 2. Hands to heart, goddess pose. Nice wide open hips, feeling creative now. And star pose, sparkle. Sweep your arms down. Okay, look around, find your blocks. Okay, if you've got more than one block, you're going to use them both now. If you've only got one, that's okay. I'd like you to place your blocks on either side of your right foot. Now just remember, your blocks can be in this position or in the highest position, and each one will bring the floor a little bit closer to you. So if you're more flexible, you'll go low. If you're less flexible, you need the high block. Okay, I'm going to use the high block. I'm going to use 2 high blocks actually. Okay, so you can walk your hands onto your thigh. If you're having trouble with your back, walk your hands onto your thigh and then to the blocks. Okay, lengthen through your spine and then straighten your back leg, bring your heel down towards the ground. Now you can use your blocks as if they're shoes for your hands. Okay, so you could walk your blocks and then press into your back leg. And then you can walk forward and then walk back, and then walk forward, and then we'll hold here in pyramid with 2 legs. Your goal is to make your legs straight. It might not happen, and that's okay. And now soften your front leg and pivot your back leg. Keep your hand on the block behind your ankle. Straighten out the best you can, and let's reach out to a triangle. And if you're feeling good in triangle, if you're feeling stable, then turn your head up and look towards your fingers. And find a little sparkle behind your eyes. Keep in mind that when our legs are straight, we want to lift our thighs off our knees to help support our knees and our hips. Okay, fold your arm down, bend your right knee, walk your hands up to your thighs for support, and bring your blocks along with you, because we're going to go do the same thing on the other side. You come down to goddess in the center. You could stand up to star in the center. And now pivot over to the other side, so warrior feet. You know how to do this now. You could walk yourself down slowly, hinging forward at your hips. Okay, position your blocks, and now pivot your back foot so that your toes are almost pointed in the same direction as your left foot. And you can bend and then straighten, walk your hands towards you. Walk your hands away, bend, and then walk your hands back. So a little bit of dynamic flexibility is all we're doing here. Walk forward and then walk back. And sometimes this type of movement just takes a little bit of practice. So if it's feeling awkward, that's okay. Just know that that's normal. And we're just learning, right? Every day is a new day. Now look down at your back foot and pivot that back foot out just a little bit, warrior feet. Keep your left hand on the block and then stretch up, up, up to triangle. You could feel yourself rooting down to your past and reaching up to your future simultaneously. Respecting the present moment as a gift. Inhale. And exhale. Now fold your top arm down. We'll stay right here in this position. I'd like you to pivot your back leg and lower your knee down to the ground. Okay, so now we'll just move into a low lunge. Okay, now I'll suggest that if you have tender knees, if your knees feel a little bit uncomfortable in your low lunge, you can place your towel underneath your knee, okay? But from here, I'd like you to just simply lean your body weight forward and slide your back leg further back. Now you'll feel a deep stretch in the back hip. Okay, before we were stretching from side to side, now we're stretching our hips front and back. So you'll feel that deep stretch. And if you've got your blocks, you could put some weight on the blocks, and that's really helpful. You can also use your sofa cushions. Okay, so this next exercise is called the winged dragon. You'll stay in the same position. Just watch what happens to my front leg. I'm going to just allow it to open up, drop out to the side just a bit. And you might be able to see from there how the sole of my foot is now exposed. See if you can do the same thing. So now you're stretching your back hip in one direction and your front hip in the sideways direction. Okay, I'd like you to place your foot down on the mat, and then when you're comfortable, you'll step it back. You could bring both knees to the towel if you'd like, and then lean back for a little rest, a little child's pose. You could stretch your arms forward and just relax down. Please allow your knees to come out wide so that you have plenty of room for your belly to just soften down between your knees. And then exhale. Bring your forehead closer to the ground. And if your forehead doesn't touch, you can rest your forehead onto a block or a cushion or a bolster or a pillow, whatever you brought into your space. Okay, that was a quick little rest. We're going to come up And now you'll come to your tabletop position. I'm gonna just stay in the same direction. I'd like you to step your right foot forward this time. Okay. And then you'll start to slide your left leg back. And it's even more helpful if you've got that towel. You could slide the towel back, right? Okay. So lengthen through your spine. Continue to exhale. That helps you to relax into the posture, especially if you breathe deep. And now let's move to winged dragon. So you'll let your knee drop out to the side. Once again, you'll expose the sole of your foot. So it's very gentle, just let gravity take over. You don't have to force it, but if you want a deeper stretch, you can place your hand on the inside of your knee. Make sure you're exhaling deeply and relaxing. Stretching both hips in 2 different directions. So efficient. And now bring your knee back up. Walk your hands to the ground. Step your foot back. And let's recover with a quick child's pose. Feel free to take your knees wide. Feel free to rest your head onto a block. And your long, fluid exhales help your body to stay relaxed. Okay. Slide your hands back towards your body. Hinge yourself up. And now you'll turn to face me in a seated position. So take your time. You'll bring your feet out in front of you. And then just lean back onto your arms like you're hanging out on the beach. And then make your neck a little bit longer by drawing your shoulders back and lengthening your neck. And you'll swish your knees from side to side, allowing a nice twist in your torso. Remember, don't force anything. And if your knees are feeling tender, you can slide your feet further away from your body. Okay. The next exercise in Sanskrit is called Baddha Konasana. In other words, the butterfly pose. It's one of my favorites. It's a good hip opener. All right, so come back into the center. Now, if you've got some pillows or bolsters, bring them into your space, okay? I'd like you to draw your feet together. My long hair is collecting all over the place. Draw your feet together and allow your knees to drop off to the sides, and just notice where you are right now, okay? The most important thing is for you to check in with your spine. If your spine is rounded, we'll need to fix that. So lengthen your spine. You can even walk your hands back behind you to prop your spine up nice and long, okay? Draw your feet together, and if you feel more comfortable, you could take your feet further away from your body, okay? And finally, if you'd like to have a little bit of support, you could slide your pillows or your bolsters underneath your knees, just like this. And that's if the stretch is really intense for you. Right? And then in time, you'll be able to take the blocks away. Now, if your knees are up very high, you can even use the block in the high position, right, to simply support your knees. And the more time you spend in Baddha Konasana, the more your hips will start to open up. So if you're playing with your grandchildren, or if you're playing with your furry little babies, you could spend a little bit of time in Baddha Konasana and see what eventually happens to your hips as they gently open up. Okay, now since we've spent a few minutes in this position, now we're going to move into straddle. Oh boy. Okay, so you'll slide your legs apart. Okay, and if you're not super flexible, then you can have a smaller piece of pizza. If you're feeling really flexible, you get to take a great big piece of pizza. And if this is really not comfortable for your hips, then bring your feet together and put a block underneath your seat. So sit on the block and then return to our pizza legs. Now, once you've created your pizza slice, I'd like you to flex your ankles a lot and spread your toes. It's not very pretty, but you'll feel your hamstrings stretching. And this is the benefit to exercising from home. You could feel a little bit awkward in some of our postures, right? Because you're just there with me. Okay, so from here in our straddle position, you can use your bolsters or your pillows and just to hinge forward from your hips. Notice I'm just hinging a little bit. You don't have to bring your chest down towards the floor. This isn't the Olympics. This is just hanging out. I don't know, is a straddle posture an Olympic sport? Exhale. Please do keep in mind that you want your spine to be long, even if you're resting. So if you're simply resting your hands on your block, lengthen your spine, right? If you're hinging forward, lengthen your spine. The only way we're able to really breathe deeply, the way we like to in yoga, is to position our spine in the best position so that we can breathe freely. And for us right now, you want your breath to come up your spine and down your spine. Help yourself back up. See, that wasn't bad. Slide your legs together. Sit up tall in staff pose. And for just a second, turn your toes out and turn your toes up. So this is just like the pivot that we did on the floor. Even though you're moving your feet, your whole bone, your whole leg, right up to the femur bone is rotating in your hips, right? Everything is connected. Let's do one more. And now try to bring your pinky toes towards the floor. Just try. You don't have to force it. All right, bring them back up. Now it's time to lay down. So you could bend your legs just like this and slide down to your side. Take your time. There's no rush. You'll roll onto your back. Yep. Please just make sure that your towel, maybe you have a strap, just make sure those two items are close by. Okay, I'd like you please to press into your feet and lift your hips. Now this is a strengthening exercise. I know we've been doing a lot of stretching, but this is a strengthening exercise. So you need to squeeze your glutes, not with your hands. Squeeze the muscles of your glutes. Okay, now if your knees feel tender, then lower your hips and just walk your feet forward a little bit. Okay, otherwise you're just gonna hang out with me. You've got another 20 seconds here. So just squeeze your seat and then make sure that your belly is not pooching. We want to draw your navel in so you've got support in front and below your lower back. You should feel your hip flexors opening and your butt strengthening. Take a deep breath in and a long exhale. Soften your glutes, lower your hips down. Very nice. Cross your right leg on top of your left leg. Okay, so we're creating this figure 4 position. And now you'll draw your knee towards your chest. Now this is where you could use your towel or your yoga strap. You could just loop it underneath your leg and hold on to the strap or your towel. So this way you're able to draw your leg a little bit closer. Now if you don't have either one of our fun yoga toys, you could hold on to the fabric of your pants and just draw your shoulders back towards the ground. Now, I encourage you to close your eyes and see if you can bring your back a little bit closer, make more contact with the ground. So draw your navel down. Okay, relax your leg back down. Let's do the other side. Bring your leg in, and you can hold your thigh or hold the fabric of your pants or use your towel. This is a great stretch for your glutes since we've just worked them. If you can believe, we're coming right to the end of our class already. You did a really good job respecting your hips today. I'm proud of you. You should be proud of you. And now it's time for you to respect your thoughts, your emotions, all the rest of your body in a nice, easy Shavasana. Now, all the yoga gurus tell us that we should stay in Shavasana for at least 3 minutes. So I invite you to stay in your pose 3 to 5 minutes even after this video ends, okay? I hope you will, because you'll really enjoy the benefits of Shavasana. Bring your feet down, slide your legs out, and open your palms. This is where all your hard work and all the subtle changes take hold. Please take a deep breath in and a long exhale. Say to yourself, self, I'm proud of you for showing up today. Self, I respect all the work you did. I love you, self. It is an honor and privilege to be your guide. Until next time, stay happy, stay healthy, and stay vibrant. Namaste.